This is Chris Elliott, and this is part 2 of my video series on why people laugh at capitalists.
Donald Trump is airing a television ad for the first time, airing it in battleground states. We're going to roll it here.
In Hillary Clinton's America, the system stays rigged against Americans. Syrian refugees flood in. Illegal immigrants convicted of committing crimes get to stay, collecting Social Security benefits, skipping the line. Our border open, it's more of the same, but worse. Donald Trump's America is secure. Terrorists and dangerous criminals kept out. The border secured. Our families safe. Change that makes America safe again. Donald Trump for president. I'm Donald Trump.
Okay, so, now, first off, Syrian refugees flood in, as they say. Now, first, one thing I want to remind you, I'm not pro-Democrat, I'm communist and revolutionary. But, anyway, so, Syrian refugees flood in. How dare we let people from war-torn countries join the labor force? How dare we? Yeah, I don't get what you're complaining about. Their actual labor coming into the country, people who can do jobs. And you're trying to keep them out and send them back to the horrible war-torn country they came from. And a lot of the reasons for that country's problems are because of the US, but of course it itself does have its corrupt government. But, next, as for talking about how Trump's America's quote-unquote safe, two things. First, Trump is an open acolyte to Putin and has literally sold the US to him. Second, we're even less safe than that, because due to Trump's trade war with China, we're now making far less revenue off international trade, making the job market much, much less secure. And finally, not finally, one thing I have to address after this, but almost finally, as for his insane military spending, the US military, the amount of money that is spent per year on the amount of money that is spent per year on military globally. Think of that. All the money that every nation on Earth, all nearly 200 recognized nations, spend on their military per year, half of that is spent by the US. We have no need whatsoever for a larger military. The US already makes up half of the global military. Literally, there is no possible need for a larger military. Nothing that could justify the US expanding their army, air force, navy, etc. Seriously, half of the global military spending. Half of the money spent on military globally each year. I'm not making that up. And then finally, of course, Trump's wall is a flat-out waste of resources, as some Mexican immigrants to the US do come from border hopping. The vast majority of them come via plane and just stay longer than their welcome was. And then, of course, there's no actual need to keep them out in the first place, but I'm sure most of you can know that already. Anyway, see you guys next time. Bye.